Good evening, all you Patriot catfishers. This is the first time, I think, or the second time I've only been live on my YouTube channel. I'm out here on Lake Wiley doing a little catfishing. I was upriver earlier and had a storm to come through, and it got kind of rough, and I left my raincoat in the truck. So I had to bundle up in the boat cover for, I guess, about 45 minutes till it passed. The river got real bad muddy. Hello, Virginia fishermen. How you doing tonight? I'm down here in North Carolina out on Lake Wiley over next to Charlotte. I got a couple bites, but like I said, I was up lake about 45 minutes ago, and a bad storm come through, popped up real quick. And I'd run off and left my raincoat in the truck. So I bundled up in the boat cover I had on here to rode it out. Got a real bad influx of muddy water coming down the lake. And down the lake's a bad influx of muddy water coming off the South Fork. So I'm kind of right in the middle of the muddy water. I'm hoping I can catch me a few stragglers that's trying to eat before the muddy water gets to them. But I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rods out. All of them with brim about the size of your hand. They died on the way down here. My oxygen thing quit working, so with that many fish in a little 5-gallon bucket, they died. So I didn't get to put out no live baits for flatheads, but I do have brim. Every one of these rods has got a brim the size of your hand. And I kind of filleted them back down the backbone where the fillets will flare out, and got them hooked right straight up through the nose and right out between the eyes. And I'm running 8/0 and 10/0 Gamakatsu octopus circle hooks. Got them Carolina rigged. They got some of them that's got the fake demon dragons on them. Them Chinese demon dragons, they ain't quite as got a loud a rattle in them, but they still work. I painted them white and painted some black, and I got them out. I run 30-pound line on part of my rods and reels, and some of them I've got 20-pound, but I run a 30-pound leader. I got 3-ounce sinkers on there because some of them I like to go straight down and kind of drift, and if it ain't lighter than 3 ounce, they want to kind of drift up. But I'll spin this around right quick and let you see my setup. I'm on the pontoon boat. This is actually the wife's pontoon boat. I'm working on mine, but I'm gonna call this the Patriot Cat for right now. Part of my lights has done went out. I don't know if they got water in them or what happened, but we're trying anyway. But go in there, give me a thumbs up, and I appreciate it. I actually gained another subscriber tonight. I'm hoping they'll come on. This is actually the first time I went live out on the boat on my YouTube channel. I think I'm going to like it. I usually go live on Facebook, and if you're on Facebook, I got a Facebook channel. It's called Patriot Catfishers. So check it out. And I also got one because I gold mine too. So if you might be interested in little gold mining, you might like that channel. It's Patriot Dredgers. It's Patriot Dredgers. And this one's Patriot Dredgers and Catfishers. So if you check out some of my videos, you'll actually see me doing a little gold mining. So I do a little bit of all kind of stuff outdoors. I enjoy it. I was physically retired. So anyway, I get to come. Having to come at night right now. I ain't getting to do no dredging. We're having to take care of my mother-in-law. So it's taking up most of my daytime. So when the wife got home from work, I loaded the boat and said, I'll see you later tonight. I'm going catfishing. But my last trip out, a couple days ago, 4 days ago, something like that, I caught 5. Might be getting a bite over here on this rod. You actually might get to see me catch a fish. So far, the hits I've had has come up, they've been short striking it. So I figured it's just small ones that can't get that whole brim in their mouth. But I was headed back towards the dock. I thought we was gonna keep getting storms. and I was following the river channel, and there's actually a little island right here. I'm right back from the island. My anchor drifted a little bit before it actually grabbed. The island's right over here in front of me, right out in the middle, and I marked a few fish around it, so I stopped. And time I stopped, I was only able to get one of my anchors down to hold, so I'm kind of drifting back and forth. But that's okay. It ain't really no different than just drifting down. Yeah, we're getting ready to get a hit. If he pulls it down, I'm gonna swing you around, so don't let me make you seasick when I swing it around. The boat's drift back and forth a little bit, but I think this is getting pulled on a little bit. I got it thrown over. There's some docks right over here. You see the docks. Well, I threw two of them over there next to the dock. I thought, well, there might be an old flathead over there. Yep, buddy, I'm sorry to hear that. I really am. I lost mine in 2007. I've actually got an old rod and reel on the boat. It's an old pin rod and reel. It's got the old wooden handles and solid fiberglass. And I've been using it for about a year. I put it out every time with a big old chunk of bait on there, a big 10-aught hook. And the last time I was down here, I actually caught a little small flathead. It's about 3 or 4 pounds, maybe 5 pounds. It was so small, didn't even weigh it. But it actually come on that rod and reel. It just tickled me. Now, I was wanting a big one on it, but you take what you get. I'm not going to complain. The good Lord bless me. And I said, Pop, that one's for you. But I broke it off, and actually I want to restring it and put some heavier line on there. I'm scared that line's going to, the way the spool is going into the housing, there's a little bit of a gap right there on them old pin reels. And 2 times I've had my line get in it. I hear you, buddy. Well, somehow during the time Daddy had passed and my mother had ended up losing her home, somebody had got into the building and most of his fishing stuff had got gone. I had a few of them at the house and one of his tackle boxes at the house, so I still got that. But most of that stuff was ruined where the moisture got in there and ruined the hooks and stuff like that. So, but I did have to rebuild that old pin reel, and luckily there was so many of them old pin reels you can still find parts for them. There's a place up in Shelby, North Carolina. It's called Bass Shack. I think they got a website that you could actually order stuff from them. This is a family, or nothing but family. They've had this thing for as long as I can remember. And they rebuild rod and reels. Rebuild the reels. And they actually had the stuff for me to rebuild that one. The clicker was all messed up on it, and it was hanging. It was hanging real bad, so I was able to replace all the little springs and little catches in it, and it works good now. Them old pin reels are strong. Got a good smooth drag on it. It's a little bit big for catfishing, but who knows? Here on Lake Wiley, the lake record was caught about 4 years ago, about 2 miles up the river, up the lake. It was an 82-pound blue, and there's been a lot of 40s, 50s, and a few 60s caught out here. He's getting ready to take that rod. He's messing with it. And 2.5 weeks ago, I actually brought an old friend of mine out. And I had 2 rods over towards the bank. And I ain't used to flatheads. This is the first year I've ever caught any flatheads, and I hadn't caught that many of them. But that rod, it pulled down, and it come back up, and it pulled down, and we was having a lot of boat wake. And then all of a sudden, it started pulling down, and never come back up, so I know it wasn't hung up. And I reeled down on it, and hot dang, the fight was on. Ended up with a 34.5-pound flathead. If you go on my Facebook site, you'll see some pictures of it. I hadn't posted the video up on here yet. It takes a cotton picket long to upload your video to YouTube. I'm new at this. I don't know what movie app to put on my phone. I don't have GoPros. fish under me right now. I don't have GoPros, but I do have an iPhone 8, which makes a pretty good video. Excuse the plane, I'm right here next to Charlotte Airport. So I need to figure out what app I need to put on my phone so I can actually make good videos. You don't have flatheads where you are, just channels and blues. Well, I'd quit fishing about 15, 16 years ago when I got the gold bug. That true thing they say, gold fever, well, it bit me hard. But when I quit fishing this lake, there was nothing but channels in here and a few flatheads and blues that maybe some fishermen had thrown in here. But the lake, 2 lakes above us, I'm probably going, I don't know how much longer I'll be able to stay on here. I barely got a connection. I knew it was going to be iffy. So I don't have a real good connection out here in the middle of this water for some reason. But I ended up with a nice flathead, and it really surprised me. So go on my Facebook, you can see it on there, and out where I can actually make better videos. Because all I'm doing now is just recording what I'm doing and putting them on there. Some of them turn out pretty good, some of them not too good. But them apps you can add and cut and do all kind of good things to make your videos look more appealing. I mean, I kind of like to give it to you as I'm getting it too. But I know if I'm in some fish, I can probably cut it so you ain't got to wait so long in between fish. But I love them channels, buddy. I used to come down here and catch them channels, and I used to catch some nice ones. But since the blues and the flatheads has got in here, you just don't catch them big channels like you used to. And now, since I got back, I'm gonna swing this around. I think I got a fish on that rod right there. See? Can you? I hope you can see me. Let's see what happens. Let me reel this one up some. I got a lot of slack in it. That might be. Buddy, I appreciate you coming in here with me tonight. Ain't nobody else jumped in here. If you got an alert, please let me know. I'll know myself. I really don't know how this thing works yet. That might have been just a boat. It was just dancing around harder than what it normally was. Yeah, that's a fish. Come on. You're getting ready to see a live catch. If he's big enough to take it. I don't think he's big enough to take it. To Virginia fishermen, you might get to see a live catch, buddy, for the first time. Well, there went my lights. There they go. Yeah, my lights has got water in them apparently. Yeah, he must be a little old peckerhead. Yeah, he must be a little old peckerhead. But he done got it swam away from where it was. He's still there. there. Live. Mr. Virginia Fisherman, thank you. You brought me some good luck. I appreciate it, buddy. Live on YouTube. Woo. Let me get my headlamp. You're gonna have to see my old nappy head. Ooh, that's a nice one. He ain't no monster, but it's a nice blue. Yeah, he done swallowed this thing. Ooh. Oh, he got a little bit of fight in him. A Patriot catfish in the catfish boat. He ain't no monster, but I'll take him. He brought me luck. Let me turn my... I'm trying to reconnect. There we go. I keep losing connection out here on this water. I appreciate you bringing me good luck, buddy. Let's see. This son of a gun. Let me grab my glove. One thing about old Blue, he will bite the piss out of you, won't he? Yeah, he'll chomp down good on you. Especially them smaller ones. I don't know what it is about them. They got some jaws that will tear you up. Buddy, if you hold on, I'm gonna see if I can get that hook out of your throat. If not, I'm gonna let you have it and you'll work it out yourself. Let's see. God dang. Yeah, he got that in his throat. I'm not gonna kill this fish. I'm not gonna kill this fish, but I do have a scale. It's one of the Whisker Seeker scales. Excuse me. It comes up to 110 pounds. Let's see what this thing's gonna weigh. I'll weigh them in the net. My net weighs 1 3/4 pounds, so I know. Oop, he's gonna fight. 12.2. That means it's about a 10-pound kitty. I missed a 10-pound kitty cat, and we'll take it. I'll take that all day long, or all night long. There you go, buddy. Thank you, Mr. Kitty. And thank you, Mr. Virginia Fisherman, for joining me on the Patriot Patriot cat boat. And you going back. Woo! Made my night. Thank you for joining me in here, buddy. That would just made my night. If I don't catch a nothing, I'll be happy. But I don't have no more bait. So I'm actually gonna retire this rod and reel for the night. And I hated to do that. I don't like leaving a hook in one. I know they'll work it out. The old hook will rust out of his mouth. But yeah, I got another person in here. Who else is in here? Say hello now that I'm back out here. Tell me hello so I know who you are. Somebody joining me. Virginia Fisherman's in here. Who else? Oh. Well, for some reason, I'm not seeing comments. If that's you, Virginia, say hello so I'll see if my comments are coming up. For some reason, it don't. Something ain't kosher. And the headlamp I use, all right, you there. There's somebody else in here. It says another person, but I don't see them. They're not saying anything. The headlamp I use is actually a Justin Lefford. What are you doing, buddy? Did you just see the catfish I caught? Wasn't a monster, but it was a 10-pounder. That's my buddy Justin in here with us, Mr. Virginia. But anyway, that's a diving headlamp. It's waterproof, so you can get it soaking wet or whatever, and it's really bright. It's got a rechargeable battery that comes with it. I hear you, buddy. Yeah, this is a last-minute thing. Donna was at the college. I took off down to the pond behind the house and caught me some brim. And she come in from the college. I run and got us a bite to eat, hooked up to the boat, and hauled tail. I got my boat wet a little while ago upriver. Storm come up out of nowhere and drowned us. But then it blew out, and now I got a nice, cool, calm night, a little bit of a breeze, so it ain't sweaty. I'm having a good time, Justin. I appreciate you coming in here and joining me in the boat, buddy. Hopefully we'll get some more bites. That was pretty sweet. It acted like a little old small one. Let me reposition this and it acted like a little old small one pecking on it, or a flathead. So I reeled down on it, and I should have got it earlier because he had done swallowed it. Oops, sorry about that, fellas. I got you looking at the dark sky. Yeah, but he had done swallowed it, and I hate that. But it'll rust out. I do believe it'll rust out of his mouth. It was too deep for me to even try to do surgery on him. If it was during the daylight, I might have tried it, but out here in the dark, I just wasn't gonna try it and hurt him. Hurt him worse than it was anyway. I think I got a mess. You at work, Justin? Yeah, I still ain't built old Justin's daggum big old flathead. But that's okay. That day'll come. At least I hope it will. At least I hope it will. Excuse me, fellas, let me go through and bump my rods a little bit. Some of them got a lot of slack in them. A lot of slack. Excuse me just a minute. I'm not quite a talker like Dieter is. Dieter kind of puts on a show. He's down at the coast right now. Yep, he's down at the coast right now. Hopefully the oceans will calm down enough for him to catch some shark. I know he's headed down there, and it was supposed to be real high waves and all that stuff. So, yeah, fellas, I don't know. You know, I mentioned Dieter on here. He's got a YouTube channel. And there's a girl, Yakking with Sarah. She does a Sunday night show, Sunday night at 8:30. Look her up, Yakking with Sarah. She's getting ready to do a giveaway. She hit her 1,000 subscriber mark. So she's gonna do a little giveaway for that. But she got a good show. She's had Dieter on there. She's had Lyle on it. So it's a pretty good show. I mean, I don't mind helping anybody else starting their new channels and stuff. Shoot, I'm new. I'm gaining a few here and there. She actually helped me gain 5 or 6 people off my first show on there with her. So she gave me a bump, and I appreciate that. So But yeah, Justin, I got 7 rods out now, but every one of them's got a brim on it about the size of your hand. But my little bubbler died on the way down here, and with that many fish in that bucket, I didn't put a whole lot of water because I didn't want them splashing everywhere. They all died on me, so what I done was just cut them all up, made mincemeat out of them, stuck a hook up through their mouth, out their nose, and threw them out there whole. Cut the tail off of them, all I done. So I got hand-sized brim out there. I'm head hunting tonight. I've got three that's got the fake demon dragons on there, you know, the Chinese ones. I ordered about 20 of them. You got them like $8, $9 for 20 of them. You have to wait 2 or 3 weeks to get them though. And they're not quite as loud as the regular demon dragons. I think it's a softer plastic, but I mean, it don't matter. And then I got 3 of them's got the line rattles, and I got black ones. I got one right here that come off that rod. That's what it come off of. It didn't come off the demon dragon. It actually come off when I ordered my stuff from Whisker Seekers, my scale, I went ahead and got me some of the line rattles. You can see this one right here, it's black. And my demon dragons, the ones I got on right now are white. But I checked my black ones and I had painted them black, and for some reason they still wasn't dry, I guess because of the weather. But at night, I like black ones. I learned a long time ago that black at night, especially if you got a bright moon or a bright night, they can actually see that a lot better. It's like it casts a shadow. So, because they're looking up, and that shadow, I don't know. At night, I throw little black flick tails catching brim and crappie and stuff like that. Any other color, I'll triple to your 1 with that little black flick tail. So at night, I like throwing black. And even in muddy water, I mean, it throws like a shadow. So I use black and white. That's the colors I've got on them right now. And I dip them things because I tried them. I caught fish about a month ago on some clear ones, but I noticed that the clear ones get full of water. So you gotta, and it's best to dip them in the paint. I just use Rust-Oleum, oil-based Rust-Oleum, and I dip it in there, let it dry, dip it in there and let it dry, and then it's good to go. I hear you, buddy. I'm telling you, people, and you never hear anybody, Dieter or any of the rest of them, even the guy that makes them, I've not seen a black one yet, and I don't understand that. You'd think they'd want black ones in muddy water, or, you know, any kind of water like that. But Justin, loved the South Fork down there. I come across it on Lower Armstrong. It wasn't nothing but a mud hole. And I made a run up the river where I caught that big flathead the other night. And it was muddy it was just muddy. But then I had that storm, so I made a run back down the river, and I ain't far from the dock over here next to the condos. You can see the condos behind me. And there's an island right out in the middle of this. The river channel splits off, and this other side over here close to the condos, there's an island right in the middle of that channel. And I don't know why it's there, but it's there. And I swung over here and slowed way down and marked a few fish on this island. So I dropped my front anchor, and it finally held. So I'm back a little bit off of the island, but I got 2 rods over on top of that island. I figured I'll try here before I go back to the dock. And actually that last fish come off over here at the daggum pier. So we'll see. What's up, Mr. Chadwick? Mr. Chris Chadwick, how you doing tonight, buddy? Yeah, I'm still alive. I'm out here in the middle of Lake Wiley, buddy. Floating around. You just missed an old 10-pound blue cat. I knew it'd be slow, but hey, that's okay. I'm out here floating around enjoying myself. And I actually caught me a fish live on YouTube. That's my first. The only person in here was Mr. Virginia Fisherman himself. But that's okay. Yeah, Chris, Donna come in from work. I grabbed us a bite to eat, hooked back up to the boat, and I let out for Wiley. Got caught up in a storm up here, but that's okay. It blowed past, and now it's a nice calm. We got some stars overhead, but it looks kind of mean back that way. Let me touch it. Yeah, Chris, I need to learn a little bit more about this YouTube. Like, you just made a comment and I didn't see it, and now it's gone. And it might be because of the way I got my phone set down sideways. You do it, buddy. Don't think I won't put you on here. I brought a few people out, and a few people said they'd like to go, but then when you get ready, it's hard for me to plan it, and me and you done talk, Chris, right now with my mother-in-law and everything. So that's why I just decided to go at the last minute right here at night. She can sleep, her and her mother's asleep, and, you know, I'm just out here enjoying it. Yeah, us too, buddy. Like I said, we've been having some thunderstorms almost every day. Our mountains is getting flooded right now. They finally caught it off. One of the dams was about to have a problem with one of our dams, which would have caused a major catastrophe. They was evacuating people and stuff. So, Chris, I'm using brim the size of your hand. They had all died in my bucket coming down here. So I'm using the whole brim. I take a lot of cuts in it to get the sin out and scale them. Put the hook up through his mouth, out his nose. And I'm using 10-aught and 8-aught hooks, circle hooks, Gamakatsu octopus circle hooks. And I put a little twist in them so they offset. Hold on just a second. I got to check a rod. My line's going the opposite way it was. We got a little bit of a current. They must be releasing some water. Sorry about that. Yeah, they've been releasing water, then they'd stop it. And when they stop it, you get a back current. And yeah, I do too, Chris. I'm just, you know, I caught that one and I really wasn't anticipating catching any with the mud water that's headed back down this way. And the lake's pretty high. They're not releasing all the water for some reason. I don't know if they're preparing for what the next week we getting a lot of rain or what. We can actually, on the North Carolina side of Lake Wiley is split North Carolina and South Carolina. But on North Carolina, you can use any game fish as long as you count it as part of your creel. Brim, which there's no limit on krill, so you can use the whole fish. I actually caught a 17-pound flathead up the lake about a month ago, and I actually caught him on a live bass about this long. But if you do cut it, from what I understand, you've got to keep the head and the tail, so it can be counted as part of your creel. Which I want to use the head. That's what I've been doing. But I heard I was actually I could get a ticket for that. As far as bass, and now that crappie has got a creel, it's the same thing. But you can use the game fish. I still got to talk to somebody about that. Dieter, I need to talk to him more. He fishes this lake all the time. And I don't know if he uses just a fillet off bass. I know he does use crappie and he does use bass. So I need to find out, because I dang sure don't want a ticket, especially a $300 ticket. But I catch them on bass. I hear you, buddy. I hear you, Chris. Yeah, I mean, last time I was down here just the other day, well, it was Saturday. Of course, there was 10,000 boaters out here. I thought it was going to rain. That's the reason I come down. Well, it didn't rain, and there's 50 million boaters and all them big old rich. I don't want to get on the road. But there's some rude bastards out here on the water. Excuse me, I don't mean to be like that, but they are. I had one that I wasn't 50 yards from the bank, and he run between me and the bank. And you know what's sad? He was another catfisherman. Yeah, buddy. He run between, and here's a catfisherman, Justin. Young boy mumbled. What did he mumble, Chris? You had to excuse me. I had to look through my bifocals. I'm about blind. But that catfisherman, Justin, run between me and the bank. Up here, you can't use bass or carp or crappie. I hear you. Now, see, that's what I'm waiting on to get my hand on an old big old carp. That makes a lot of good cut bait. And we could use all the carp we want down here. Did you? I hear you have to keep your worms warm. That's pretty good, Chris. But yeah, I had some rude bastards the other day. They'd swing in big old boats right over there near me and then shut down and then take back off again and just rock the pee out of me. But when that catfisherman cut between me and the bank the other night when me and Scott was fishing, buddy, yeah, I believe he would do excellent, buddy. I do. Down in the South Fork, we used to catch a lot of eel down at the old Tycaro's place. And I never did use them, but I always believe, man, them things gotta work good. They'd have to work good. They feed around on the bottom like an old catfish and stuff, and I don't know. I never hear many people talking about using eel. I don't know if they just tough to catch or, I don't know. I believe it'd be good bait. Yeah, Chris, chicken livers is a good bait. If you're looking for meat fish eaters, it's just if like me, I'm head hunting right now. If I want to catch me some some meat fish, catfish, then I throw worms and chicken livers, and I go. There's a place down the river down here. I know that I can pull up and probably catch me 15, 20, whatever. But I'm out head hunting. Beef liver and shrimp. Yep. Use that too, buddy. More than one time. But I'm throwing big baits. I'm looking for big fish, and it's all or none. And I'm really surprised that old 10-pound blue grabbed a hold of that daggum brim, and he had it in his throat too. So he took it. But I think that's why I kept pulling down on it. He was trying to get it down his throat. But like I said, it was the size of my hand. Ain't none of them cut up. But boy, it sure feels good out here tonight. I've been on here almost 40 minutes. Done got one catfish live. I'm hoping I'll get another live so y'all can see me. But I do appreciate y'all joining me on my channel, on my YouTube channel. Makes me feel good. I got one fish live on here, and hopefully I can build my channel up and get a few more on here. Chris, I'm gonna tell you, Ohio River, I'm seeing some videos, some boys catching some big old fish up there in the Ohio River. That's some swift water. I've not fished any kind of waters like that before. These guys are doing what they call bumping now. They using their trolling motor and drifting backwards and keeping up with the current, and they bumping a big bait down the river using heavy sinkers and catching some monster daggum blues and flatheads. But Wiley's just about to get ready to go into catfish spawn. That's why I was trying to get out here a couple of days this week, maybe. I know the rest of the week probably not. It's supposed to rain bad and thunderstorms. but they getting ready to go to spawn. We probably already got a few already up in headed to spawn now. So I figured I might get lucky and catch me a few more before the bite gets real tough. I mean, you'll still have a few out here that's not spawning. They all don't spawn at the same time. But just picking them off, it gets a little tougher. Yeah, you can still get out here and catch the meat fish. Chris, I wouldn't doubt it. The world record has been broke, what, Justin, a couple times in the past couple years? Justin might have done left. Yeah, the world record's been broke quite a few times in the past couple of years. And I'm not sure what the last one was. I'm thinking 141 pound. It's a blue. Guy up here in Lake Gaston. It's North Carolina, Virginia line. That son of a gun broke the North Carolina state record 2 times within, I think, 32 hours. He caught one. He's in the boat by himself. It took him a little bit to get it in the boat with him. He took it back, got it certified, brought it back out that morning. His daddy come back out with him to help him release it after it was certified. And then his daddy wanted to fish a little bit, and daggum if he didn't hook up on the one bigger than that one. So he broke the North Carolina state record either 24 or 32 hours apart. It was crazy. And these was some big old fish. Zach Royce is who it is. But I need to get me a trolling motor that I can run with my finger for a pontoon boat. I got one that you run by foot, but it's tricky trying to get a pontoon. The wind really messes with you on a pontoon. But I want to learn how to do the drift so I can set out planter boards and spread out my baits. But at the same time, I want to learn how to do that drift like old Steve Douglas. Now that son of a gun right there, that's a fish catching rascal. And he does a lot of drifting with his rod straight down underneath the boat. And if I can figure out and learn how to do that with a pontoon boat, then I should do pretty good on Wiley. Because many years ago, I wanted to start up at the dam and drift the whole river channel all the way from the top to the bottom. It'd probably take me 2 days, but yeah, Steve's caught a lot of big fish, and a lot of them straight down underneath the boat. Some of them drifting with his lines out, but a lot of them straight down underneath his boat, and he stays mainly in the channels. I ain't so sure I didn't just see lightning. I don't like lightning on an aluminum pontoon boat in the middle of the water. I still got stars overhead, but it looked kind of wicked back that way. But like I said, if that one blue was the only one I caught for tonight, I'm happy. I got the skunk out of the boat and done it live on my YouTube channel. Yeah, I used to fish a lot of bass tournaments. Yeah, we might be getting ready to get another fish. If that is, that's a flathead. Wiggling a little bit. Yeah, fellas, I'm getting ready to lose my connection. Chris and Virginia Fisherman, I appreciate you coming in here with me. I appreciate you joining me on the boat while I caught that nice little blue cat. But I'm going to sign off. And while I still got a halfway decent signal, it's still going around and around, so I don't know if not. But this is Patriot James, a Patriot Cat. And guys and gals, one last thing. God bless America. And we're going to sign off here. See ya.